Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. How about the lefties? Max Fried to the Yankees, Crochet to the Red Sox, Evaldi. Who's next? Let's talk about it. Max Fried.
I'm tired.
You're out.
I'm just out.
Bobby Bonilla. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Go download the app, get some tickets to see your new shiny objects you're getting this off season. Jake Storielli, Trevor Plouffe on the West Coast. He was on the beat report of sorts the past couple days. We'll get some updates on that. Bobby Srirachi, Rob Sirocco producing. As we are in the teeth of winter meetings. I mean, almost the end of winter meetings. And Trev, while we are recording this, Bregman is supposedly getting close. There's Mariners trades that are supposedly getting close. But either way, Juan Soto just got announced with the Mets. The pitching market has fully happened. There's still more to go there. But it actually happened. I was laughing earlier today, Trev, because there's all the, hey, baseball needs this window where stuff gets done. And it's kind of like, it has a fake one of those, and it's kind of working right now. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I mentioned I was tired. I'm banged up, guys. I was in Vegas for 2 days with all the old heads of baseball.
Name drop.
Oh, there was a lot of guys this year, man. I was hanging out with Torrey Hunter. Paul Molitor came. Obviously, Everyday Eddie was there. LaTroy, Jock, Jason Giambi, Shane Victorino. We go on and on. Bobby Bowe was my golf partner. I talked to him about deferrals. I was like, dude, are you sick of people asking me about this? He's like, no. He's like, it's bigger than my birthday. I get so many mentions. But no, it was a great time. And for a good cause. Still got Game Foundation. Kenny Lofton won the golf tournament again because he's a sicko.
Oh.
Yeah. So a lot of fun. And yeah, we got a lot of good news. So it's going to be a good show. Obviously, we're going to talk about Crochet. We're going to talk about Fried. There's about a million other signings too. I disagree. I don't think we need a window. I'm not into that at all. I want people to be able to negotiate at their own pace, and so far it's been good. I mean, I think it changes every offseason depending on what teams are involved, who's got the guys. I think Boris is out to get his name back. That's what I think.
He's doing a good job. Man, your boy Max. I don't know if you send the congratulations text yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, of course.
Proud.
I mean, that's a lot of money, bro.
A ton of money. And you know what? For our listeners of Talkin Baseball, you guys are the best. You can subscribe, comment who your team wants next, all that good stuff. But to show the people that when I come on Talkin Baseball, I try to keep Yankees Jake bottled up and just ready when we need him. The news of the hour, Max Fried, you're going to have to wait. Garrett Crochet is going to the Boston Red Sox. Sale 2.0. Garrett Crochet, the breakout lefty for the White Sox. And I think a lot of baseball fans remember some of the story here. Like Tennessee pitcher out of college, and he was on Pitch Ninja and stuff, throwing triple digits. And you're like, whoa, what? Do college pitchers just do this now? It's a yes and no, not at Crochet's level. He got called up to be a lefty reliever for the good White Sox teams, the competing White Sox teams. Put together a nice bullpen season there. Gets hurt. He comes back to the bad White Sox, but he has his breakout year last year. All-star for them. The strikeout rate, the K per 9 is insane. It passes the sniff test of how it looks on the mound, just dominant. We heard the trade rumors at the trade deadline, and that got a little funky. He gets traded to the Boston Red Sox for not their 2 top prospects, arguably not their top 3. Kyle Teal's supposed to be a guy. On some lists, he's a top 25, top 40 prospect. Braden Montgomery, Chase Maydroth, not sure I'm saying that right. Wickelman Gonzalez, I'm working on my scouting report and my names. The news here, Trev, obviously, Boston gets a guy in the rotation.
I love it for them. I mean, obviously, this guy, his stuff is so electric, and he made some adjustments last year, like becoming a starter. He actually started throwing harder last year, which is pretty crazy because
Smart.
usually it's the other way around. Yeah, smart. Good job. That's Jake Elytics. Just throw a little harder. Weren't we talking about that before the show? Can't you just throw a little harder?
I think there was a pitching coach that said something like that.
So,
but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Red Sox are in such a good position to make moves. We've been talking about that all offseason long. Like, this is their chance to go really improve their team. So you bring Crochet over. They needed starting pitching. We know that. I don't think they're done in that aspect. Still, you mentioned they're able to keep hold of was it Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony? Like those are their top. Those are their big dogs. But the reason they're able to do this, man, and the reason they're in this window is like they've had guys come up and be successful big leaguers that are making league minimum still. So like they have such I think like roster flexibility and a bunch of guys knocking on the door. This is the time where yes, you go out and make trades like this and try to supplement your roster to get back in the swing of things in the AL. I think the time is now. If you're in the American League, like you should be going. There's not a dominant team in the American League right now. So your chances of getting to a World Series I don't know, they might never be better. So they go out and make this trade. Again, I don't think they're done. I think they're still, could they be the one to go get that Mariners pitcher? Could Luis Castillo be a part of this rotation? And then all of a sudden they got like 6 or 7 dudes already lined up that could be in that rotation that could really help them. And we mentioned, who they have offensively as well. Like they're prime, man. I love this move for them. I watched Garrett Crochet pitch a few times last year in person against my Twins, and he is filthy. I mean, he is. I mean, we talk about guys with stuff and who's got the best stuff, and sometimes we say Blake Snell, sometimes we say Scoobs. Like he's in the conversation. He'll blow you away. He added a sinker last year. He started throwing a cutter just because. Why not? Lowered the arm angle a little bit. A lot of things changed for him when he became a starter, but they were all good changes. I think even some of these numbers, I mean, they're great overall, but I think they could be better. At the end of last year, he was going through weird stuff like you talked about with the trade deadline. They were limiting his outings to like 4 innings or something like that after July. He was playing for nothing. Like he was just playing to play. Like put him in this situation now where he's got something to play for. I think the best days of Garrett Crochet are still ahead.
You're probably right. Garrett Crochet, he's 25 years old. I mean, Kyle Teal's a real prospect. He's going to be 23 for opening day next year. So Garrett Crochet, that breakout year, he was so dominant. And I was going through the stats too, Trev, because I was, in my head, I was like, Crochet after the break was kind of rough, right? And depending how you look at the numbers, it says that there's one real outlier start. I think he gave up 7 earned runs to the Cubs one game. And then, like you mentioned, it was weird because they wanted to limit his innings because if he got hurt, we just saw, we saw Shane Bieber's last season, although he's going back to Cleveland, that injury can throw off, who is it? Brandon Woodruff with the Brewers, who he was one of their best assets, and then he got TJ and they had to let him go. So, and then they re-signed him. Do I remember that right? Anyways, Crochet, he jumps up to the 1 of Boston's staff. Houck, who broke out last year, would slide to the 2 for now. Bayo is there. Cutter Crawford is there. Your guy Dick Fitz, sure.
Lucas coming back.
Lucas is coming back at some point. Mr. Giolito, Chris Rose rotation. That the Red Sox have some pitching. They signed Aroldis Chapman. They have Liam Hendriks. So they got a plan on the back end. They got a plan on the front end. And like you said with the lineup, this is where things get fun. Not only did they not sacrifice their farm, which I think Red Sox fans, if you were buying Marcelo Mayer cards or Roman Anthony cards, I think you can feel pretty good that, let's see, because I don't want to overstep because there's still some trade pieces out there. And we're going to talk about some of the remaining pitch. This is going to be a pitcher-heavy episode, so if Trev makes a turn on us,
if I start throwing up on my keyboard, I'll let
you know. At some of these dollar amounts, Max Fried. But the Red Sox, the early rumors are they're talking to the Mariners, and is that Luis Castillo? Or, hey, if they're willing to part with one of the younger arms, then maybe Roman Anthony isn't safe or something like that. I don't know yet. But I agree with you. The Red Sox, they have a lot of talent. It's why you like them a lot coming into this offseason. And now that Crochet has happened, they're going to do something else because their lineup is so lefty right now, like absurdly. Like, don't get me wrong. I like a good stack, but Duran, Devers, Casas, Yoshida, Abreu, Hamilton right now.
They're going to make moves. They're going to make moves. And I don't know, this is not the right expression. You know when people call it like a slippery slope, right? Everyone knows that means.
Yeah,
like this is
that.
the tip of the iceberg, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you get Crochet. Now it's like, okay, let's begin. Like now we have our guy, and let's go supplement the offense, or I guess switch some of these lefties into righties, whatever it is. They have the payroll space to do it. They have the prospects to trade. They have ready major league talent to trade. They kind of have some sort of a log jam, as far as position players. Like this is it for them. And if they're a couple moves away from being, in the discussion for top team in the AL. I don't think that's far-fetched.
No, it's not. Especially Baltimore. I don't know if we're going to talk about them.
With Baltimore.
They've got some. That ownership group has some decisions to make in the next.
Open the hand up and give some of the prospects away. Let's go.
Their fan base has to be asking a lot of questions right now. The Red Sox, man, their path is really opening up, Trev. Because let's say if they want to trade Casas to Seattle, that could get you Luis Castillo, maybe. That could get you one of the young guys. Like that. Tristan Casas would be one of the best young hitters available in the market. If they don't want to do that, they like Tristan Casas, and they can. Are they going to go for Corbin Burnes? I don't know. We still haven't seen the Boston Red Sox front office roll out a big free agent contract since David Price. So it's been a couple moons, and that their ownership group has gotten some commentary because there are a lot of businessmen that haven't had their eyes focused on the baseball team, some have been saying. But it seems like there's a turn being made, and man, there are right-handed bats to be had in the free agent market, a lot more than lefty bats, that I would think the other fun one that's been floated out is Masataka Yoshida. Like, could you trade him for Jordan Montgomery for a 1-year deal, a guy you've been interested in? There's like a money swap there that takes place. And then you could keep Casas. You add another righty bat, and now, okay, we got some pitching we like. We got some hitting. You sign a Teoscar or something. Like Bregman has been rumored. It's all in front of them, and the Red Sox are going to be here this year.
Yeah, they have some interesting decisions to make. I mean, I wouldn't trade Casas. I think he's proven that he can hit at the major league level, and I just think he's too valuable. But if you did move him, that opens up a lot of different avenues for them. You could kick Devers over to first, and you can go get a Bregman or somebody like that. I wouldn't do that. I would keep him. I think he's got a lot of talent, man. I think we're going to see, again, like I said about Crochet, I think his best years are definitely ahead of him. So slippery slope, tip of the iceberg, whatever it is. I really do feel like they're just getting started. At least I hope so. I mean, I feel like Boston fans have, for a couple off seasons, felt like they've been on the outside looking in a little bit. So I know, like, reading some Boston fans' takes online, like they're hesitant to, kind of be all in because they don't want to get their hearts broken. But I do think this is the offseason where we do get big moves, and we do see them kind of catapult back into the conversation.
Well, Trev, I have good news on that, and I have better news on Blitzball Battle 5, because this pregame, I think my guy, Coach Trev, is involved in. Check this out.
We are back in the warehouse. Blitzball Battle 5, presented to you by Draftkings, the second of our 2 semifinal matchups between Forgotten Rotten and defending Blitzball champion McFlurry Power. They have dreams of hoisting a second straight Blitzball banner, and with a win, they will take down the inaugural Warehouse Cup.
The biggest storyline for me today is Trevor Plouffe. Shelfie has gone well above what he's supposed to do. It's time for Trevor to pick it up a little bit.
This is another good matchup between two teams teams who haven't been as good as they should be, they really haven't hit this entire tournament. But somebody's going to have to score runs to win. Trevor Plouffe is going to have to come through at the plate eventually. I think it's going to happen. For me, I'm going to be taking Forgotten Rotten, guys.
If I pick McFlurry, Rotten's going to win. So I pick McFlurry.
I think Forgotten Rotten will make it to the championship against your team from Lovias. Today is your day, Plouffe. We'll find out who's going to make all the way to the finals. It's Blitzball Battle 5, presented to you by Draftkings.
All right, please go check out our Blitzball Battle on the Warehouse Games channel. It's an incredible product. It's a little different, but I guarantee you get sucked.
Do you know how many freaking of the ex-ball players are like, what is this thing you're doing? They all see it. They all want to be a part of it. I'm like, you guys, I say, first of all, I would tune you up. You got no chance.
Right.
I don't think you could just come into my arena, all right? I know you're a better baseball player than me on the field, but Blitzball's different.
It's different.
They do watch it, man.
It's different. We have, this might surprise some people. John Boy Media has some resident Red Sox fans, mostly the We Got Ice guys, also in Blitzball Battle.
Yeah, what are they saying? Are they in the office right now?
So Jack Doyle is, pushing the limits of being a human and being AI, so I haven't gotten his full commentary. Zoe is a sports nut, and he had a hop in his step because of exactly what you just said, man. Like, he's been working at John Boy Media, so he's been surrounded by Yankee fans all day, every day during the Juan Soto times, the high times, and the low times. And he hasn't had a punchback. Like, since they've been here, since 21 or so, the Red Sox haven't been a big part of the discussion, and they're back in the forefront, man, and they... the Yankees that we'll get to in a second with Max Fried and the rest of that free agent market, like, the Yankees have a path that things are going to happen, and the Yankees are the Yankees, that they're going to have a squad coming in next year. Dude, I've even letting myself daydream some of the Red Sox moves. Like, I mentioned trade for a Mariners pitcher and sign Teoscar. Hey, I'll tell you what could be a sneaky signing for them. Gleyber Torres. They've had a second base hole for a little bit. That guy batted leadoff in front of Soto and Judge. So say what you want about the defense. But if he can be the fourth piece the Red Sox add this offseason, I think the whole board is open for them. And I wonder the Andres Jimenez trade that we're not going to dive super into this episode. Chris Rose has been on a Bo Bichette's going to get traded thing just because there's not shortstops out there. And I'm wondering in my head, like, Andres Jimenez is one of the best defensive second basemen I've ever seen. Like, it's literally, like, you should put classical music behind it and just watch it.
Him and Rocchio were fun to watch last year.
It's amazing that, and hey, I think Bo Bichette is an amazing baseball player. Defensively at shortstop, he has left some things to be desired that, I don't know, I feel like you'd almost be putting yourself in a weird spot having Jimenez at second while Bichette's at short. That's a long way of saying, like, we've wondered what the Blue Jays are going to be up to. The Rays are going Rays, but if the Red Sox are here, the Yankees are going to be around. The Red Sox are going to be here. If you're the Blue Jays, I wonder if this makes them... We've wondered what their offseason is going to do. You have to start asking more questions. And Baltimore, Trev, there's a lot of eyes on them because you got to do something. And even if you bring Corbin Burnes back, like Santander was such a big part of what they did last year that the Baltimore wave that was coming, that wave coming down a little bit.
I love Tyler O'Neill. I think that's a good signing for them.
Yes.
I love Gary Sanchez. I was his hitting coach for a while. Everybody knows that. But those aren't the moves that I think Baltimore, the fan base wants or thinks, or they're expecting more. And they haven't gotten it yet. There's a lot of teams you could say that about. I'm going back to the Red Sox, though. I want to finish up kind of like what I think they need to do. I do like the idea of bringing in like a second baseman. I don't think they need to do that. I don't think they need to do a lot position player-wise. If you wanted to get rid of some lefty bats and do that, I could see that.
They need a righty stick, dude. Right now, the best righty might be Trevor Story, which we don't know where he's at.
Fine. But more bullpen, better bullpen.
Okay.
That's where they got to go now. If they're good, go get another starting pitcher. If you're in the Corbin Burnes sweepstakes, great. Or you're trading for a Luis Castillo, whatever it is. Obviously, I'm on board with that, but their bullpen was their biggest liability. So yeah, you bring in Aroldis Chapman, you're getting Hendricks back, but I they have to go make a splash, and I don't know if that's Tanner Scott. I don't know if they want to go out and get him and pay him all that money, or they want to go, via trade or bring somebody else in. But that's the biggest thing I think that need to address. High leverage guys that are proven, because I've seen it time and time again. Everyone that watches baseball, man, if you can have a great offense, you could have great starting pitching, but if you have a suspect bullpen that's blowing games, it just takes the wind out of your sails, man. So that's to me, that's where they have to really, really focus on. I wouldn't mind them getting some bench help either. Kyle Farmer would have been a really good fit for them. He signs with the Colorado Rockies. I think he would have been a great bench bat for them. So I would go bench, bullpen. That's kind of like where my thought process is with it.
They're just in a fun spot, dude.
Yeah.
Like if it's, let's say it was Casas for one of the younger Mariners pitchers. Let's say it's Bryce Miller or something like that. And something that's massive about this Crochet trade, making $3 million next year.
Yeah.
$3 million.
They don't have a lot of like guaranteed big contracts that they're paying out. It's like Devers, really.
So that's what I want to see, man, because they need to add a righty bat, and there's a lot of rumors around Bregman right now, which I'll tell you what, if they added Breggy with the monster and Devers slides to first, or it's Teoscar, hey, I know a lot of teams are riding the Polar Express this offseason. I don't think Boston is, but they can go a lot of ways with it.
I'm looking at their lineup right now. The guys that were in there last year. Durant.
Uh-oh.
Jonathan Loaizaga and the Yankees have agreed to a 1-year contract with a team option for 2026.
Okay.
Huge. He's back.
Don't get too, nilly-willy with that passing button, okay?
Hey. He's pitched some high leverage innings.
Yes. Listen, Jarren Duran, pre-arb.
He would have been good on the Red Sox.
Jarren Duran, pre-arb. Tristan Casas, pre-arb. Abreu, pre-arb. Connor Wong, pre-arb. Hamilton, pre-arb. Rafaela, pre-arb. Like, they are. That's amazing, dude. If you're talking about most of your starting lineup is pre-arb, earmuffs. Fucking go make some moves.
My God.
Let's go, Craig Breslow, former teammate. What's up?
Their guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey.
Where were you? You were going to go somewhere there.
Just 3 jokes came in. I don't know, Craig. I'm just letting it go. And because like Rob just said, Johnny Loaizaga to the Yankees, maybe coming into games after Max Fried, Trev, the biggest contract ever given to a left-handed starting pitcher. 8 years, $218 million. You knew him since he was a boy, Trevor.
Yes.
You saw an athletic 19-year-old Max Fried working out in L.A. He is the highest paid left-handed starting pitcher, one contract ever, to the New York Yankees. He needs to give Juan Soto a thank you. And the Yankees are making their strength a strength. He slots in behind Garrett Cole. Carlos Rodon, who they gave $160 million to, that's your 3. I mean, that's pretty crazy. That would be the biggest contract a lot of teams have ever given out. Luis Gil currently at the 4. I say currently for a reason. And then Clark Schmidt, Nestor Cortez, Marcus Stroman. The Yankees have created starting pitching depth to trade from that they are going to be one of the other teams you hear about in the coming days via trade. Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker, and all that. Have you hit up Max? I guess what was your reaction on the golf course in Vegas?
I was with Flaherty. We were talking about, he was there in Vegas as well, name drop. We were talking about it. We're talking about kind of Max setting that market. Obviously, those guys are really good buddies, but we were talking numbers, and we didn't get to 218. We never got that far.
Right.
So I'm very, very happy for Max. I mean, I think he does. He deserves it. how many times have we said on this show, like, Max is going to get broke off? Like, if you look at the numbers, you're shocked when you get in there. I think I even flippantly threw out, like, Cooperstown for Max Fried.
Oh.
That was a little far-fetched.
A little flippant.
Little far-fetched. But, no, I mean, the numbers are there. I think that I didn't see him, like, choosing New York, but I guess you can't turn down that kinda contract, and now that I'm visualizing him in those pinstripes, I think it's gonna work. He's calm, he's cool and collected. Hey, he's gonna be your best defensive infielder on that dang team. That's actually something that's interesting to me too is, he's kind of a ground ball pitcher. Yankees kinda, like, need to step it up. I guess Jazz at third piece, Volpe at short. Okay, let's continue with that because you're gonna need it with Max, but I'm happy, man. I think it's a great deal. I think the Yankees obviously wanted to go out there and make a splash, and you're right about the starting pitching, and how stacked they are now. I don't want you to trade Luis Gil, though. I know that's been rumored a little bit. I think he's too good, man. I don't think you give up on the guy. I don't think, a lot of people say, "Oh, sell high on him," but watch that guy throw, man. Like, he's got so much potential. So, I love it. I think, my biggest takeaway was, "Oh, shoot. A lot of money."
It's a lot of money, and that's why I wanted to mention Garrett Crochet making $3 million next year to trade. And maybe Kyle Teal is the next guy, and some people think he is, but to pay a prospect package and allow the rest of the flexibility for your team. Max Fried, man, he's got some stats I like a lot. Since 2000. Yeah. 2020, yeah. Jesus, Jake. Losing my mind. 112 starts. That's a lot. 2.81 ERA. Like, that's...
I believe that's the lowest ERA among qualified starters, like, in the big league.
It's rare air, man. And then even, like, last season, everyone was like, whoa, his first 2 starts were wonky. He was a 2.85 after that. So, Max Fried as a lefty pitcher, and hopefully he can use that, learn how to use that big Yankees left center field, because balls do go to die out that way as long as they're not going to short right. What was that face?
I mean, I hit some balls that didn't die in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, you turned on. Some
big dogs.
Got your hips through. The Yankees have a impactful rotation currently, and now they're going to have to trade from that because they need at least 3 hitters. Hey, Trev, this lineup without Juan Soto missed the playoffs and was last, or only the A's, who currently don't have a city, were behind them. So, like, I'm worried about the Yankees lineup. Cashman and the Yankees front office, it's time for them to put in the work. And, it's kind of interesting. They've got a Goldilocks bear situation. Like, do you want Nestor for 1 year? $8 million. Like, that's a valuable piece for 1 year. Are they going to find a 1 year swap for a guy like him? Stroman is 1 year, 18. Like, hey, maybe you got some bad hitting money you're looking to swap with. And by the way, Marcus Stroman with a good defense behind him, I bet his numbers would have looked a little bit better because, God, the Yanks shot him in the foot a lot this year. Okay, you're looking for a couple more years in growth. Clark Schmidt has pitched well and taken a step every year as a pitcher. And then Luis Gil, who won Rookie of the Year, 4 years of control. The stuff passes the eye test. He does have a little bit of an injury history that probably doesn't have him valued as he could be, or you might think he is, and maybe the right team does. So that's the interesting next part for the Yankees. Where are they going to let 1 or 2 young guys play next year? And what's going to be available between Cody Bellinger? Kyle Tucker has been a hot in the streets rumor. And my God, Trev, if they could replace Juan Soto with Kyle Tucker, that's about as close as you can get. Obviously not the offensive production, but maybe a better fit for the Yankees if he can play that left field out there where you were the only one able to hit it out.
I mean, look, any team wants Kyle Tucker. I don't know, man. Like, my thought process on that is you just traded a significant package to bring over Juan Soto because you thought you could extend him.
Right.
Did not happen. Are you going to do the same thing 2 years in a row and bring over Kyle Tucker, who has Scott Boras as his agent?
Right.
Is he going to sign an extension, and then is it worth it? I think a lot of Yankee fans obviously want him there, and they talk about this window with Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge. It's kind of, 3 more years, right? Something like that. If you, I'm hesitant on that. I really am.
Right.
I mean, obviously love to have Kyle Tucker there. I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, you obviously want him in the outfield, but he's going to require a significant package. And I'm the one that's always on here saying, I don't care about prospects, ship him out. But I think doing it 2 years in a row, thinking you're going to sign somebody back and it not happening, that could put you back a little bit for your future.
He's a little bit of irony that I've said on the show the past 2 years. Kyle Tucker and how much money he's going to get.
Yeah.
People might not be ready for that, and he could be a potential Yankee savior that, yeah, it would be interesting. There's obviously Houston and New York stuff there that, does either team have a little bit of a tax with each other? There's some interesting rumors out of Chicago that now people are daydreaming, Tucker goes there, Cody goes to the Yankees. Yeah, I would, as a Yankee fan, I'll let that Yankee Jake out. If you can get Tucker, I think you got it. And
who's the prospects that you trade for him? Like, who are your guys there? I mean, I know
Dominguez.
Dominguez.
There's rumors about Heel, which again, that's 4 years. But there's some stuff on his resume that is a fair argument. Like the control was kind of
like Heel for
rough.
Tucker, like straight up.
I think the Yankees say no. That's reportedly what they've said no to.
I'd do it in a heartbeat. I just said don't trade him because I think he's got a lot of potential, but you're dealing from a position of strength.
Right. The rumor on Yankees Twitter is that it was Heel and Ben Rice, and the Yankees turned that down. Or excuse me, yes, the Yankees turned that down. So I don't know. I don't know. The Yankees need to add, and there's places they can go, like the Cubs, like Bellinger and Nico Horner.
Does Belly have a no trade clause?
I don't think so. I think
okay.
I researched that yesterday.
Robbie, will you look that up for us, please?
I'm interested to find out. Luis Robert is out there. I don't know. The Yankees are going to have to figure out, because they still have Yankee money to spend, but it's for the holes they need to fill. Free agency, that money goes away real quick. You sign a 25 and a 25, and that's game. So they need to get to work, and it's interesting. Is Marcus Stroman going to have a landing place? Does Clark? What kind of value does he have? What kind of value does Heel have? But you bring in a talent like Max Fried, and I'm excited to get to see him, Trev. Again, I know he's one of your guys. We got to meet him at spring training. Not like an gee shucks guy, but just like a nice fella.
Just a very nice guy, yes. And the money, I guess, I started to do the math because that's what I do on this show.
Right.
27 and a quarter a year. That's not bad for AAV. It's just the 8 years of it, I guess, makes it seem like that. But that's
yeah. The curiosity is, did they stretch it out to 8 to lower the AAV a little bit and give him a little more coin and leave them a little more window to do something? Not bad for Max. Not bad for Max.
I think he's going to do great in New York. He has the temperament for that. Very, like you said, cool, calm, and collected. He's going to say all the right things because he is just a nice guy. Like, he's going to give credit to his teammates. He's going to, do that whole thing. And yeah, you guys are friends with him. It's great. It's great news.
Did you send the text? Did you send the congrats, bro?
Of course I did.
Right.
I told him we had this big dinner planned in a couple of weeks where all the LA guys are getting together. So, I mean, I was going to pay for it. I don't know now.
You're not paying for the dinner.
Our plan was the 3 oldest guys are going to pay this year and then kind of move it down the line every year because we're trying to make this a yearly thing. But I don't know. I think Max might just flip the bill now.
Yeah, Trev. I don't.
Like, guys, I am the poorest one on the group chat.
God.
Yeah, tough. Best looking, but poorest.
That's where I live. Yeah, same. Hey, let me tell you about Skims, Trev. This hits home with you in multiple ways. Comfort where it matters most. Your underwear. Skims, known for revolutionizing shapewear. Like that a lot. Has now launched a line of men's underwear that's about to change your daily routine. I mean, Coach, I don't want to put you too much out there.
I'm wearing them right now.
It's on.
Yes.
Skims is on your skin.
You only bring the best to Vegas. It's the only underwear I brought to Vegas. I wear them. I think they're great. I was a fan of a competitor. I guess I can't probably say the name, but I made the switch.
Yeah.
I ordered a bunch of stuff. I even got some socks from them. Excellent. And Olivia is like, they do these drops. And she's always, I get a package of Skims delivered all the time.
Get that.
Olivia's all about it.
Hey, why don't you shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey. Select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for the perfect gifts for the whole family, Skims just launched their biggest holiday shop ever.
Yes.
Also available at skims.com. And haven't you been seeing Kim more?
Yeah,
I don't want to reveal too much, but
well, her son and Teddy are on the same basketball team. So
okay, that was the stuff I thought. I didn't know.
Is that what? Why is that?
Well, no, it's just not my information to share. I don't know, right? Shouldn't be telling people.
They
where
both
your
need to work
kids
on their
are.
jump shots. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah.
Coach Trev's going to get them in the lab.
Oh,
I don't know how to shoot a basketball. Oh my!
I want to see your basketball game so bad.
It's not bad.
No, I mean it has.
Good.
It obviously has to be a certain level of good, but the way you talk about it is a step less confident than I thought you would talk about it. Like I thought you'd be like
you one-on-one. I'm winning.
No, well, let's find out. But I
saw you dribble a basketball. all the way up and down Manhattan.
I like them your size. I'm ready for that. I know how that body moves. You guys aren't used to guarding someone with my frame. Yeah, I'm an uncomfortable guard. I'll say that.
When it comes down to it,
right?
Your basketball video,
is
going to be remembered for a long time. I think that's
Thank you.
One of the most underrated pieces of content we put out.
Maybe we'll put a link in there.
We need it.
It's a good watch, man. That's a twice a year for me. That was a fun day. I've dribbled a basketball through Manhattan like 100-something.
Your hands were disgusting.
So gross. So gross. Back to baseball.
Yeah.
What we know. Because the hardwood wasn't for us. It didn't choose us. Trev, I guess let's talk about the starting pitching market a little bit. And again, a reminder for the Talking Baseball people, when this time of year rolls around, we try to hit the big ones as well as we can, that there's usually a full circle back. And that's why I said, like, I want to touch upon the pitching a little bit. Like Evaldi re-signed with the Rangers, 3 years, $75 for Nate Dogg.
I love him, man. He's like one of my favorite pitchers in the game, man. I think he's like set it and forget it for me. Like he is a guy that he's gonna be there. He can pitch in big games. He can do all the things. He can miss bats if he needs to. Like I love Nathan Evaldi.
Is he in your book?
He is in my book at Yankee Stadium.
I think that's why you like him too. And I want to circle back. Like, there's a whole Clay Holmes combo to have. Sevy happened a while ago. Like, Alex Cobb's on the Tigers. I want to talk about it. I don't know if today's the deep dive on him, but I guess I want to talk about the next steps for the pitching market. Because we talked about the Mariners have something to trade. The Yankees have some things to trade. Is there a Monty flip out there? Dylan Cease and the Padres. Like, people aren't sure what's going on with that. And then in free agency, you've got Corbin Burnes, who should get the biggest bag. That's kind of what everyone assumed coming into this free agency. And Max set quite a tone. Max might have to thank Soto. Corbin might have to thank Max when it's all said and done. And then from there, like I think our guy Jack Flaherty, who he's got a pretty good argument. Like, wait, I'm a little younger than Max, and I pitched pretty damn good last year. And then you start like Scherzer's out there. There's still pitching to be had. I think the price tags have been elevated. I guess Sean Manaea, who's been a Talkin baseball legend, still out there. So I guess where do your eyes turn next?
Well, it's Corbin Burnes, obviously. I mean, he's kind of like the target. I didn't know he was only 30 years old. I thought he was a little bit older than that. So
younger than Fried, dude. The beard effect is crazy.
Yeah. And Max does have like a baby face.
Sure.
So, I mean, yeah, now I'm looking 8 years for him. Why not? Probably what it's going to have to be. And an AAV of over 30. Like this guy's going to get it from somebody. I don't know who it's going to be. If the Red Sox are going to pony up and do that, or the Orioles going to try to re-sign him. It doesn't seem likely to me that they would do that. But yeah, I think he's up next. If I was the Red Sox, I would probably, I don't even know why I'm talking about the Red Sox right now, but I would go get Manaea. Maybe not go get Burnes. I would get Manaea, put him in my rotation as well, and kind of go and fix the bullpen. So I would go like Manaea, Scott rather than going out and getting the Burnes. That's kind of my thought process there. But yeah, there's I think Walker Buehler is going to be a steal of the offseason.
Yes.
Talked about that. You know, the way he looked at the end of last year, he kind of got that dog mentality back. You know, he really struggled at points last year, but then like when he started to feel good again, started to feel healthy, and he looked great, man. So I think I would be if I was a GM and I'm looking for starting pitching, those are the two guys I think I would go after, Manaea and Buehler. Obviously, Eovaldi, he's gone now, back to the Rangers, but those are like my not so under the radar, but almost like I feel like they're coming at like discounted rates. Even Manaea, I don't know what he's going to get, but it's not going to require an 8-year commitment to get Manaea.
I would. Well, this just crossed my mind, and I think we're going to look back and be like, oh my God. The Snell contract looks fantastic.
Yeah.
How
good does a Shohei contract look now?
That's
like it already looked great, but when Soto has $805 million, no deferral, and you're talking about Shohei deferring 98% of it, like it's.
You see people in New York City, and sometimes the phrase is just, I don't have the time today. I don't have the time for that today. Happy for the Dodgers and Shohei and Nez and Snell, whatever. I'll tell you what, I get on the horn and I'd ask about Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
Because you just had kind of a price tag laid out for you a little bit. I mean, except one year less. Like the Red Sox had to give up a top, let's say Teal is top 40 and the other main guy in there's top 100-ish. Okay. So does one of those get me Dylan Cease for a year? And I'd be a little nervous that the Orioles would do that again, because that's kind of Corbin Burnes part 2, right? But I think there's going to be a smart team that you don't have to empty the farm for 1 year of a guy that might win the Cy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so these prices are scary to you. Go get a potential Cy Young winner for your third prospect. Like that feels like a no-brainer that we're going to be on the mics in a couple days, and a smart team did that if the Padres decide to go that way.
Who's the smart team that's going to do that? Braves?
Braves would be interesting, right? Like they've been snaking the grass this whole time, and they're not just sleeping. Like who was I daydreaming?
Cease to the Braves that seems like it's going to be part of the simulation.
Cease to the Braves fits the simulation. There was a stud I was thinking about the other day. Oh, Kyle Tucker. Like, is that not Braves? Is Kyle Tucker not Braves? Extension, donate a little to the charity.
He's not signing a freaking extension, dude. He's not. Especially with the Braves, dude.
Here's what I'll say.
He's going to get $400 million. The way these deals are going right now.
Right. Trev, you know the you know the player aspect side of this is slightly better than me. I'm okay saying that.
Yeah.
I'll admit that part. Kyle Tucker is going to get a lot of money. He got hurt last year. It wasn't like an injury-prone injury, but he got hurt. Juan Soto is Juan Soto, and that's in a vacuum, and the Cohen part of it, and inner circle Hall of Famer. Kyle Tucker is a very, very good baseball player who five-tool Tuck. If a team trades for him, Braves, Yankees, whoever it is, and they start looking at this and they say, Kyle Tucker, we love you. $300 million, $350. I understand the hitting free agency, but let's say Kyle Tucker joins a new team and he has a so-so year or he gets hurt again. Trev, it would we're not again, this is me talking about I'm not talking about $20 billion. I'm talking about $300 million. It's something Kyle Tucker would have to think about seriously. I understand Boris, but
I agree. Look, an offer that's actually put out in front of you, it's a little bit different than just thinking about it. Yeah, of course, in his mind, I want to get to free agency. I want teams bidding on me. I want to maximize, my earning potential. Yeah, but if you do put that offer and say, all you have to do, my friend, is go like this, and you get X amount of money, it does make you, you have to think about it. I agree with you there. But I think Scotty B will be like, no, bro. And he does have Scott, right?
I think
I'm
so.
going right now. Or is he a CAA guy?
Let's see. Kyle Tucker. Excel.
Okay.
I don't know, man. 350.
Abraham Lincoln MF.
Does it all. His stats are crazy. Yeah, I wanna see Manaea has to be one of the next guys on the list. Trev, that was again, I feel like we're getting too buddy at the end here, but real interesting for teams saying, okay, Corbin Burnes is gonna cost us 30, 33, wherever that number lands. Okay, does Manaea cost me 25 and I get a high leverage reliever? Like the exact example you laid out. Teams have to be wondering that. And I, like you have said, I think teams love Manaea, man.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be one team. I tried to say this before the offseason, and I said it like poorly, and you kind of didn't like it. Like, because this was supposed to be Walker Buehler's going to sign a 1 year, and then he'll get the big contract next year. He might just get it.
I don't know about a huge contract, but yeah, he should. I mean, teams should be lining up to sign him. Like you're talking about getting Cease, a guy that's like led the league in starts the last couple of years, Cy Young 4, Cy Young 2 type guy or a prospect. I think, yes, teams should be lining up to do that as well. Buehler's the same way where I feel like his value, the monetary value is low, but like what he can bring to you on the field is extreme. Like he could be a top end starting pitcher for you. And like I said, you can get him at a discount right now. So yeah, I'm in on that.
Well, like you said, I have no idea. Walker Buehler, I'll tell you what, Walker Buehler is going to do Walker Buehler. But like if the whole thought process is, hey, Walker Buehler is going to go up pitch next year and get a huge bag. If you're I guess I don't know enough about the injury history. I think he's a double TJ guy. But, if you throw out the 5 for 115 or something, like you said, once that contract's in front of you, and, Walker Buehler pitched the last part of last season looking at his arm like, what? This isn't Walker Buehler. I don't know. Interested to see. Alex Cobb, we got more coming up on that.
If you're a lefty, just drop your arm angle down a little bit. Boom.
Done.
I'm trying to think of a lefty out there that just needs to drop his arm down. Maybe Jordan Montgomery just needs to drop his arm angle down a little bit.
I think he's the highest release point, so he might not be the best.
Yeah, no, just go like that. Yeah.
Just bring it down here, big cat. Hey, today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The holiday season is all about feeling good and staying cozy at home. For some, wrapping up in a blanket with a mug of hot cocoa or watching a movie with the family is the best way to spend the month of December. I'm doing that the next couple days. I'm excited. If you're looking for comfort, even when the season changes, therapy can be a great way to bring comfort that never goes away. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/TalkinBaseball to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TalkinBaseball. Go check it out. Trev, you want to do a little rumor mill where we're at? Because again, there's too many signings that I would feel bad to those teams for not properly hitting them in a couple days. We just did a little pitcher follow up. We didn't even mention full pension Piv and what contract is that guy going to get?
I'm very curious to see what he gets.
There's some Mets rumors out there. I guess one of the biggest names right now is Bregman. Willie Adames set the tone to kind of kick off this whole winter meetings. And those are two guys I was wondering who was going to get who. I thought Adames with the shortstop had the leg up. Now with the way money's flying around and teams not wanting to be at the dance and Bregman's resume, I think he might get him. I guess which fit do you like the most, and where do you think, and then where do you think it's going to go?
For Bregman?
For Breggy.
Oh,
your guy. Send him a text.
I don't know where he ends up. I mean, he fits a lot of different teams. Again, we always talk about, he's kind of a guy that plays all the time. I think he's going to age well. Where does Bregman end up?
Right now, the leading rumors are kind of Red Sox, Yankees, Detroit is back in the mix, and I think Houston
Detroit,
too.
Yeah, I think I picked him to go to Detroit in our draft, but the more and more I thought about it, over the weeks after that, I think he ends up back in Houston. I think that's just like where I see him going. Yankees and Bregman will be something.
It would be interesting because Jazz goes to second. You have Bregman and Volpe. We're talking about the Yankees that got embarrassed in the World Series. You have like defense and athleticism. Yeah, I don't know. I originally was kind of, going back a year or two ago, Bregman was one of the like Mets rumored guys. Vientos at first. Trev, I guess, I don't know if you saw any of this. I'm curious to get your thoughts. Alex Bregman, you threw out the Max Fried, the Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Bregman, 40 career WAR. Like we did this conversation, him, Evan Longoria. Like, I don't know. Do you think there's anything to, if he goes to Detroit, make some of those milestone numbers a little trickier?
Yeah.
The ball doesn't fly there. Where, I could say the same thing for the Yankees. That's not a Detroit shot. Like, it's a big left field you got out there. Now, the Boston Red Sox, or even Houston, I don't know. Like, those are places built for Breggy. Do you think that's in his head at all?
Going to a hitter-friendly ballpark? Sure. I mean, you want to spend your time at a place where you feel good about it. But I think that's down the line. I think he wants to win. He wants, obviously, to get paid. Yeah. The Phillies rumors, like, kind of interesting to me with him. I think he fits that like kind of atmosphere that they have there. That would mean they'd have to move Bohm, which they've kind of talked about. But I believe Topper came out and said we're not doing that. So maybe the Phillies are out of on Bregman. But that's the place I could see him like fitting in and having fun, and it kind of hits all the marks there, talking about being on a competitive team, good ballpark, all those things. So if he doesn't, because the Red Sox are prioritizing Alex Bregman. That's what that was on MLB trade rumors. If that happens, then something's going to go on with Casas, right? They have to.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's almost like selfishly, as a fan of the sport, I don't want that to happen. Like I love when teams have to make these decisions and make these moves. I mean, Breggy goes to third, Devers goes to first, Casas gets shopped. Who do they get in return? Like, I'd like to see that happen, Jake.
The Red Sox have a lot of chips on the table, and by God, what a way to round it out for for Bregman in New York if he goes Houston to Boston. Dude, those Phillies are, I said snake in the grass before. What is Dombrowski got up his
I don't know, man. They've been pretty
Luis
slow.
Robert?
Yeah.
Is it Luis Cast? Like, my guy has, is it Bregman? Is it like some sick Alonso thing? Because that's just Phillies ball. I think I looked at Alonso's like homer chart, and if he plays at Philly every year, it's like an automatic 50. Like, it's just
got to move
just
Bryce
happens.
back to outfield then.
I mean, there's no rumor there. That was just, but like, I think the other thing that has me all jazzed up, Trev, you can hear it in my voice, dude. Like, I think the Rangers were big in on Fried. I think they went to the Fried finish line. So that was a team we weren't sure how much the wallet would be open, and they got Evaldi. And it doesn't mean you're going to spend all of that money, but the Nationals are supposed to be rumored in on Alonso and trying to take the next step as their team. The Mets ain't done.
No.
They got to cook. Braves were the other team I said. Like, the Braves and the Phillies haven't been involved super much this offseason, and they will be. And I don't know, man. Like, it's still percolating.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that still has to go because we talked about, okay, if you're the Yankees, you went out and got Fried. You still have, you said 3 hitters they need to get in that lineup. They still have moves to make. And talked about the Red Sox, getting Crochet, and that's just the start of these things. So there are a lot of teams involved, trying to improve their roster. And it's great for baseball. When teams are actively, going for it. The Mariners, they just got the 3rd pick in the draft. Like, they should be wheeling and dealing right now. Like, I can't wait. I'm excited. I think there's going to be moves that we don't see coming. Like, obviously, everything's rumored, and we know the guys that are available. But, when you get into, trade season, like, things can get shaken up, man, quickly. And I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see, like I said, the Phillies try to pry people away. I think the Orioles need to step in and get in the game. The Rangers, sure, I'd love to see the Rangers, and insert themselves back into the chat, if you will, after going missing last year. I mean, DeGrom's me back on the mound, and they've paid guys to create a window, so they have to continue to be aggressive. We're gonna see some stuff, man.
Orioles, I keep forgetting that, like, this is,
They have to go.
a seminal moment. Is that the right phrase?
Don't think so.
In Orioles history. Okay, that's good. Dude, the other team that it feels like we never talk about, Houston. I know we did some Kyle Tucker stuff, but like, we just think Houston's gonna trade Tucker for prospects and Bregman's gonna walk. Like, they're another one of those. I think if you look at Alonso's homers, if he plays there every year, it's about 44. So, God.
What about my Twins? What do we do?
Yeah, that's a good place as we start winding down. What's the rumors?
Not a lot of rumors going on there. I think they might be a team that trades away. I don't think they're adding much.
There was 2 hours at this office where Correa or Buxton might be on the table.
I don't think that happens unless they get blown away by an offer, because then, I mean, the fan base interest right now in the Twins is not great. It wasn't great attendance-wise last year for them. They went a whole, like, a 3-month period where people in Minnesota could not watch the Twins on TV because there was some DirecTV and Comcast something. I don't know what happened, but like, if they do that, they are going to put themselves in the back of Minnesota sports fans' minds. Like, the Vikings are playing good. The Wolves are there. Like, they're losing any sort of steam that they had, and I could see them trading like a high leverage reliever. I could see like a Duran or a Jax getting traded. I think Chris Paddock is probably on the block. Willie Castro is probably on the block. But I really hope they don't, because they're going to lose, like I said, even more steam than they've already lost this year.
Trev,
Turn
final
Griffin
note.
Jackson into a starter.
Yes. Final notes brought to us by the Draftkings Sportsbook. Get involved, people. Grab your favorite team's jersey and some snacks. Head to the couch. Another Sunday of action-packed football. And to get closer to the action each Sunday with our partners at the Draftkings Sportsbook, the best place to bet touchdowns. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you use code TALKIN. Don't forget to stay in on the action and use your $150 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TALKIN. That's promo code TALKIN. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah, my final note that you mentioned there, Trev. Rob marked this down as like, let's see, that it feels like the trade market should be bigger than ever. It's with where free agency's at and with all these team needs that remain, it's just like, it feels like the free agency is going to have a couple more. We're going to have a couple more big fish go, but I think the trade market and maybe Crochet kicks it off. But I think if you haven't gotten your 1A guy in free agency as they fall off the board, now those second plans are, okay, we got to trade this prospect capital or even parts for parts. We talked about that a lot last year. That would love to see some of it.
Yankees need to make it happen, man. Let's go. 3 hitters. You said it.
3 hitters. I believe it. Hold me to it. I hope I'm right. Hey, we will see you guys coming up. We'll see if there's one of the big ones and we can hop on the mics. We'll do it for you. Crazy couple days coming for me. We'll see. Hey, we appreciate you guys. You're the absolute best. Go baseball. Go Trev. Go Rob.